Hey, what's up, guys, and welcome back to another Real Madrid preview. It feels like eternity since we had the last preview, and you know what? The last preview, which would have been against Sevilla because I didn't do the Real Sociedad preview, was so. It was getting to a point where you just wanted the season to end, and you were so just get it over with. There wasn't optimism, there wasn't hope. It was very negative. And now, starting this new fresh page, this new era, Xabi Alonso, Dean Helson, Trent Alexander-Arnold, it is very exciting. It is. So obviously we start off the Club World Cup, at least for Real Madrid. Our Club World Cup journey starts against Al Hilal, whom I would say are the strongest opponent in Group H. They are the strongest team. I know they aren't, I know the Saudi league in general have been criticized for, oops, sorry, but yeah, I know the Saudi league have been criticized for their sort of excessive spending in order to get the big name players from Europe in, and a lot of times they have been rejected. And there have been links that Al Hilal wanted Gyökeres, they wanted Osimhen, they got rejected. But nonetheless, you look at the players that they still have in that team, and it's still comfortably better than Salzburg or better than who are we gonna play? Pachuca. So I coming into this game, I expect a Real Madrid win because it's Real Madrid, and Xabi Alonso ball, and yeah, right. But I think we still have to look at these teams and treat them with respect. I know we've beaten Al Hilal before, we've beaten Pachuca last season, we beat Salzburg last season, but that doesn't really mean much when it comes to playing at a neutral ground, a venue in the United States with new signings, with players that are going to be tired because we have just ended a long season, but they're also going to be have the hunger, desperate to prove themselves, and so could be said for our opponents. So I think that we should treat our opponents with a lot of respect. I think we all know the strength of Al Hilal, and yeah, I'm coming to this with optimism, with hope, excitement, but also with a little bit of let's see, because although the team has had some changes, that just feels like, you know, are we gonna do more? Can more be done? And I think Real Madrid will still be very active in the transfer window. I think the Club World Cup won't stop that from being in place. But we know we have to still invest in certain areas. Another midfielder, a left back, another backup striker, for example. And you know, we'll see that after the Club World Cup, which ends in the middle of July. But back to the Club World Cup because we're getting a little bit sidetracked. Um, yeah, so far this tournament, actually, in my opinion, has been very underwhelming. Now, I was watching PSG against Atletico, and to be honest, I didn't even watch the full game. I watched the first 20-25 minutes, and I think I turned it off because not only was it a midnight game for me, because it's the other side of the country, not country, other side of the world for me. that game, I thought I was watching a FIFA 13 kickoff game. The graphics, in terms of when the camera starts zooming and broadcasting the game, and the pitch, and the fans, and the stadium, and it looks a lot like a FIFA game from back in the days. And it just gives me the vibe where, are these teams really sort of, they just feel like they don't belong there. Now, I gotta say, fair play to South American, fair play to the Asian, fair play to the African teams for actually taking this seriously, and you can see that the competition, the competitiveness is there. They are there to win. But with the European sides, PSG are PSG. PSG can play at 50% and still be Atletico Madrid at 75%. And it might come across as, oh, you are a Real Madrid fan, you're gonna hate on Atletico, right? I thought Atletico Madrid did not give 100%, to be honest. And I mean, it just feels like, Bayern Munich had Auckland City. They barely gave 30% to beat Auckland 10-0. Imagine what they would have been like if they actually gave 100%. It was got every minute, right? But I'm looking at European teams. Porto drew, and it wasn't great. Atletico Madrid lost, but obviously against a powerhouse. Bayern Munich won, but again, look at who they are playing. Benfica drew, and Boca Juniors played very well. Chelsea won, but again, very boring game. Chelsea were better. When I'm recording this, Inter Milan are currently losing. Now I think they might win after all, but there's that. Borussia Dortmund drew with Fluminense. Don't get me wrong, Fluminense are a good team, but I expected more from Dortmund. I really did. And then, Man City, Juventus, they are yet to play. And Real Madrid, of course, and Salzburg. But overall, the intensity, the hunger from most of the teams from Europe so far has just been a letdown. And I hope Real Madrid don't have that going into this. I want to see players running, not walking on the pitch, running, winning every ball, pressing, pressurizing defenses, doing what Xabi Alonso actually wants from these players. Apart from winning, which is the main target for Real Madrid, and not just winning games, winning this tournament, but apart from that, what I want to see is a style of play that is implemented from the coach. As a coach, his style of play to be implemented and comes across to the players. If you're gonna be an attacker and you're not gonna track back to help defend or win the ball, or you're not gonna press, you are not going to be 100% guaranteed starter. Okay? Every player has to help out in certain ways. And that is what we want to see from day one. And hopefully, we get that. We get to see that. Because this is the first time we are going to see Xabi Alonso's team. So, this will help us identify how these players have reacted to him and what else he needs to do to improve if the players don't react to him, if the players aren't doing what he wants them to do. And it's the first game, but it is a very big game to see what is the progression from the last few weeks. But let's talk about Hilal a little bit. I think it's kind of pointless talking about form coming to this because, look, they've just won the Saudi League a few weeks ago. But, I think they won it quite early, relatively early. So I'm not going to talk about form, because I think it's only fair we talk about form in the Club World Cup itself, and they haven't played yet. But if you look at the players they have, Mitrovic, very good striker. Cancelo, very experienced defender, can play on both left and right. Um, Al-Dawsari, now he's a very good player. He's one of the stand-out players in the Saudi team. Marcos Leonardo, very decent striker. You've got Bono, good keeper, Ruben Neves, and Milinkovic Savic in that midfield. Koulibaly at the back. Malcolm up front as well. And then Renanoli, who I think will play left back. Cancelo right back. Koulibaly centre half. In front of them, behind them Bono. In front of them, Milinkovic Savic and Ruben Neves. And then in front of them, Mitrovic, Marcos Leonardo, Al-Dawsari. And yeah, that team is a very good team. It is assembled very well. They would have wanted, Victor Osimhen, for example. They're not going to get it. But what I want to see, although we are playing against these big names, is I think that I want to see the style of play, and I want to see us actually be able to play. Now, starting 11. Is he gonna go Courtois or Lunin? I think Courtois. I think not only is it because it's a big tournament, for an opening game, to be able to figure out how to get your best first team, you need to start your first choice keeper. And undoubtedly, it's not Lunin, it's Courtois. So, Lunin might play against Salzburg or Pachuca, but Courtois will be the starting keeper. No questions. The back line, here is the interesting part, because we have got something to work with now. It isn't Fran Garcia, Jacobo Ramon, Raul Asensio, and Fede Valverde as the back four, with Jesus Vallejo on the bench. This is not the final game of the season like it was. Fran Garcia will still start because Mendy has been injured. He hasn't travelled with the team to the USA, so I guess could it be the end for Fulan Mendy? I mean, missing the Club World Cup is huge. Endrick as well, he's not there. Obviously, those players are injured, but I mean, yeah, if you're going to be injured, not involved, and you're gonna miss out on not just the few weeks of training and preparation, but also the games, it makes it very tough for you to get adapted back. So for Jude Bellingham, luckily, or unluckily, depends which side you see it as, but for him, his shoulder operation has been postponed after the Club World Cup. So he'll probably come back in October now, but at least he gets to start off working with Xabi Alonso, and that is key. But Fran Garcia will start. There isn't any other option apart from the youth academy. But I think, like I said, he wants to go with a first choice option. He wants to know what he can work with, and I think Fran Garcia is more likely to stay as backup compared to Fulan Mendy. I still think Alvaro Fernandez will come in eventually. So, yeah, you got to go with Fran Garcia there. Dean Huijsen, centre half, next to Rudiger. It's a 50-50. Are you going to pick Raul Asensio or Dean Huijsen? But considering the club spent 50 million on Dean Huijsen, I think he starts. So it's kind of it amazes me as to will he go with a 3-back formation at all. And as you can see here, I haven't gone that because I don't know if he will. I'm gonna assume he's not, but he might prove us wrong. So I've got Huijsen, Rudiger, Trent at right back. I think Trent is a quality player. I think people have questioned his defensive abilities, but I think that offensive ability, the passing range, the passing abilities outweigh a little bit more. And is Carvajal back at his best yet? We'll see. Midfield, I've got Tchouaméni Valverde as a little pivot, with Bellingham slightly ahead of them, because that's where Jude Bellingham operates best. But we don't want to see Bellingham ahead of Mbappe. We don't want to see Bellingham be the striker and Mbappe goes to the left and it's an overcrowding on the left because Rodrigo wants to play on the left and then everyone's on the left and you only have Bellingham in the box. We want to see more dynamic. Bellingham can make runs into the box to help when it comes to there's a cross coming in, he's there, that sort of stuff. But the reason why I've gone with him slightly ahead of the two is because I still think that he will have to play a role defensively, of course, but obviously I think he wants to go with a pivot, and yeah, I just don't think Bellingham will be part of a pivot. That's why. Front line, Vinny Jr. wants to get back to his best. Hopefully he does, and we need to see that Vinny Jr. that is not scared of anyone. Goes for it, dribbling, flair. We want to see that Vinny Jr. back. Mbappe, it's a 50-50 because he has had fever, so he hasn't been training, so he might not start. Which could see an alternative, maybe Rodrigo up front, maybe Vinicius Jr. up front, but that is the reason why Real Madrid do want another backup striker, hopefully. Apparently a Joselu type striker, physical, tall build, cheap type, and Rodrigo on the right. Now, talking point have been about Rodrigo, is he going to stay, is he going to leave? For now, he's staying, and for now, if there's a blank spot on the right hand side, he has the opportunity to take it. It's a take it or leave it situation. I think he will take it. If not, Andre Goulet will be there. Obviously, we are waiting for Franco Mastantuono, but before we get him, we can let Rodrigo play on the right and see how he operates. Now, score predictions. I'm gonna be bold. I haven't felt like I've been able to do this since a long time ago. Real Madrid to win this game 3-1. I think Mitrovic will score for Al Hilal, but I think Real Madrid will win this. Hopefully. Hope you guys have enjoyed today's video. Let me know what thoughts are down below. But hit the thumbs up if you guys did enjoy today's video. Subscribe to cheer us on already. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.